brothers and sisters out there in social media land, we do apologize for the brief interruption, but this is still going to be the continuation of understanding the parables of wisdom, part 12. So for those that jump in right here, we already started this video. We just had to interrupt it. So part 12, this is the continuation. And we'll see if any of our brothers and sisters can come on the line, and we'll start this back up where we left off at until some of the brothers and sisters came on the line. What is a parable? A parable is when there is an earthly example used to express or teach a kingdom principle. The Messiah came from another dimension, and there was no way possible for men that lived on earth to understand kingdom principles. So he found a way to explain that. He did use earthly examples to paint them pictures of kingdom or heavenly principles. And the explanation of the parable, verse 13 of the verse 3 of the 13th chapter of the book of Matthew, says he spoke many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow seeds. And when he had sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them. Some seeds fell upon stony places, where they didn't have much earth. And forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched. And because they had no root, they withered away. Some of the seeds fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. But there were other seeds that fell into good ground, brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. He who has ears, let him hear. He is giving you an example of a kingdom principle, but he's using the life of one that's sowing seeds in order to paint them a picture. So the disciples came, and we are the disciples. And the disciples came and said, Why do you speak to them in parables? And he answered and said unto them, Because it is given to you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but unto them it is not given. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given. But he that hath, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever have not, from him that which he hath shall be taken away. Therefore I speak to them in parables, because they see not, they see and see not, they hear and they hear not, neither do they understand the mysteries. So it's the Messiah that instructed us on how important it was to have a comprehension of parables. And so we take right off running in the 22nd chapter of the book of Proverbs with the good name. The good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. That's dealing with your character and what type of person you are. How do people look at you when you need to go and borrow money from somebody? How do they look at you when you need to do something, or when you tell somebody that you're going to do something? Are they confident and secure in that, or do they have a mindset, oh, they ain't going to do nothing? You see, your name is going to be very important. What's your credit like? When they put your name in the computer through the credit agency, what comes back? Do you come back qualified, or do you come back denied credit? If you denied credit, that means that your name ain't good. But a good name is better than riches. So your good name can't just be dealing with the world that you live in amongst your brothers and sisters. Your name has to be good in all realms of life. It has to be good in the digital realm. It has to be good in the spiritual realm. What's your name like when it comes to the Most High? Can he count on you to get done what you need to get done? Here, one of the parables is dealing with the good name. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. When it comes to the life you live in, where do you put your energy at? Do you put your energy into acquiring things of this world over your name being good? What is your name? When people hear your name, what expression comes across their face? How do they feel about that name? Are they excited when they hear that name? He says, and loving favor rather than silver and gold. When you got a good name, that means that you get the favor of men. And loving favor. When men know that you have a good name and they favor you, oh man, that's my boy there. That's my what they need. What you need. Your favor of men is better than silver and gold. And when somebody's in need and they got a good name, you'll break your neck coming to the aid to see about them. That's what it is to have favor. You don't have brothers and sisters that are like that when it comes to you. That means that your name ain't what it's supposed to be. So your energy got to start being invested. It don't make no difference how much Bible you read and how much scripture and how much knowledge you know. You having the knowledge of the Bible ain't going to make you have good credit, because you got to go in the world and you got to deal with the people that don't operate according to the same Bible that you operate to. You being a part of the Sabbath day teaching or the Hebrew Israelite gathering, you being a part of the Christian church, you going to the Islamic mass, that don't make your name good. You can go to all of these places and still, when they run your name through the computer, it come back denied because your credit is bad. You can go to all of them places and call your brothers and sisters to borrow some money or something like that, and they don't want to give it to you because you ain't got a track record of paying it back. If you fall into this category, one of these simplistic principles of wisdom is going to be understanding how important it is to keep your name good. You must do what you say you're going to do. And even in times when something by happenstance prevents you to be able to do it, because you have such a good name, you'll reach out to them people and you'll make them understand why you can't do it at this time, but you ain't forgot and you are going to get it done. Good name. Verse 2. The rich and the poor meet together, and the Lord is the maker of all of them, as we stated in the beginning of the video. It said God make the rich man and the poor man, but what the Most High do is the Most High create men, and then he give men a gift, and based on what they do with their gift determines whether they're going to reap riches or not. You see, because he give everybody a gift, and what he give us ain't all that we can have. If we to build on top of those gifted areas, then we can have more than what he's actually giving us. But, one man going to build on top of those things that are given and go on and have a productive, fruitful life in this physical realm. And then another man is going to be a poor man because he ain't operating in his gift. The kingdom of heaven is like the landowner that put people in charge of his substance while he was gone. One man he gave 1 talent, one man he gave 2 talents, one man he gave 5 talents. When he came back, he called them servants, and he said, what have you done with my substance, or what have you done with my money? Well, he said, hey, you gave me 5 talents, and I multiplied my 5 talents, and I made 10 talents. And he gonna say to the one that 2, what did you do? You gave me 2 talents, I multiplied my 2 into 4. Then he gonna say to the one with 1, I knew that thou was a hard man that did not reap where you sowed, and you expecting to get something. So I didn't want to lose the talent, so I just buried it and hid it in the ground. He said, you wicked and lazy servant. You should have put my money to the exchanger. Now we see what you're dealing with when you start talking about talents. You start talking about being given giftings that are able to make money. He said, you should have put my money to the exchangers. That means that you should have went out and you should have took that and you should have took that gift and started multiplying it, and then creating other streams and sources of income in your life. Now you know that we're talking about income because we're talking about the rich man and the poor man. So one man gonna be poor because of his laziness and his slothfulness, and that one thing that God gave him. And this parable said, he that have more shall be given, but he that have not, even what he have gonna be taken away. Take the man that got the 5 talents and made 10 and give him even more. Take the one that had 2 and made 4 and give him even more. And take that 1 talent from that lazy person who didn't do nothing with it. Take that from him and divide it amongst the 2 that's doing something. That's what the kingdom of heaven is like. We are to take the gifting that the Most High give us. We're to go out into this world. We're to multiply those gifts among our brothers and sisters. Whatever it is that I know how to do, I'm to teach somebody else how to do it. Whatever it is, whether it's my business that I'm doing, if I'm cutting grass, I can teach 2 or 3 brothers how to operate the equipment, send them on their way, and then they can go out and do likewise. If it's the word, I can teach somebody how to understand the parables of wisdom, how to teach them how to understand the scripture, and once they learn how to use those things according to those methodologies that they have learned, they can now go out into the world and multiply those gifts amongst their brothers and their sisters. And this is no new thing, because it's also what the Most High told Adam. He said, be fruitful and multiply. To be fruitful and multiply is to mean to take whatever you have and then be profitable with it. Turn a profit. So, verse 4, by humility and fear of the Lord are riches and honor and life. By humility and the fear of the Lord comes riches, honor, and life. That's the first starting point. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And wisdom is tucked away and hidden in these parables. And when we have a fear of the Lord, the Most High will unlock wisdom. And when wisdom is unlocked, here comes honor and riches in this world that we live in. Excuse me. Verse 5. Thorns and snares are in the way of the froward, but he that doth keep his soul shall be far from them. The froward, like we said, the contentious man, the defensive man, the man that always rebutting something. But in that parable that we read from the Messiah, it spoke about the sword. Let seeds fall amongst the thorns, and then the thorns grew up and choked them out. This is the life of this particular individual right here. Thorns and thistles shall choke the life out. And you know what this parable is that sometimes you can hear the word. You can hear the word, and guess what? You can receive the word. And then when it starts growing up, it's choked out. The thorns and the thistles represent all of the different areas in life. Oh, you're ashamed of what people think about you because you're reading the Bible now. Oh, you don't want to be around this crowd of people. Oh, you're ashamed. So the cares of this life come and choke that goodness out. But that's the life of a scorner, or the life of a froward man. Thorns and thistles are in his way, because he don't have no depth, he don't have no root, he don't have no depth in his heart in order for the word to penetrate and take root and begin to grow. So the cares of this life are to represent the thorns that continuously choke good things out. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Now, this is one we definitely need to pay attention to. And many people can quote it, but you don't see that materializing in this world that we're living in. Our children need to be trained up in the way that they should go. In the way that they should go. You taking your kid to church ain't training them up in the way that they should go. All these religious constructs, you taking them, you dressing your children up with fringes and garments ain't training them in the way that they should go. When we're talking about training them in the way that they should go, we're talking about making them understand and instilling the fear of the Lord in them at an early age, so that they can have wisdom and develop wisdom and be able to be recipients of instructions at an early age. And once they got them instructions down on the inside of them, as they live their life and come up against circumstances, they can make those things that they have learned applicable to their life, and that would keep them from straying away. That will keep them. So we're going to have to make sure that we're training children in the way that they should go, so that when they are older, they won't depart. They won't depart because the ingredients have already been poured on the inside of them. Verse 7, the rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is a servant unto the lender. Now we're talking about this again. We're talking about your good name. We're talking about the difference between the rich man and the poor man. You see, the rich man have his rule over the poor man. And if we make these things plain and clear, we have to say to ourselves, okay, look, how many people can just go out and flat outright buy their house and not have a $30,000 mortgage? Well, guess what? Somebody loaned them the money in order to do it. So that's the rich. And the rich becomes a ruler over the poor because now you in the house and your name is on the paper, but in actuality, you don't own it. So therefore, you got to do whatever they tell you to do. Namely, you're going to get up and you're going to make this mortgage payment on time, or we're going to foreclose and you're going to lose it. So there's a sense of ruling over you. The car lot rule over you when you don't have the money to go and just buy something flat outright. And the borrower becomes a slave or a servant to the lender. You ain't going to work for yourself now. You're going to work so that you can pay these people who you are indebted to. The borrower becomes a slave to the lender. You can't take off for a month off of work because you got to worry about. You can't miss no payments. You can't do this. You ever borrow some money from somebody on the street and you need to pay them back. Hey, sometime they'll want what you got. You a servant unto the lender. The person that you owe money to is the person that you got to be serving. He that have a bountiful eye shall be blessed, and he that giveth his bread, for he giveth his bread to the poor. See, we talking about the character of a man. When you have been blessed and you know the Most High have blessed you and a bountiful eye, you're concerned about your brothers and sisters that are in need. You ain't turning a blind eye to stuff. You see, he is blessed because he see the need in other people, and then he come to be the Most High's hand of provision at the time when they need to see a hand of provision. Cast out the scorner, and contention shall go out. Yeah, strife, reproach shall cease. When you get certain kind of people away from you, you'll find out all the argument goes out. Contentions come from the word contend. Contend means to strive against. When you got people always around striving against or contending, looking for something to argue about, when you get them people out of your life, all the strife will leave your life and you'll see peace come back in. So we want to be careful who we hook ourselves up to. Because we can't be wise men. And we're always with contentious people. Because when you somebody that want to argue all the time and all of that type of mess, you can find yourself being a fool by taking the time to argue with them. But God's saying, listen, if you want to be wise, you get them kind of contentious people out of your life. And then strife will leave. You'll be able to have peace throughout the course of your day. He that loveth pureness of heart, for the grace of his lips, the king shall be his friend. That pureness of heart is dealing with a man's ability to be honest. To be honest, you might not like everything that I say, but best believe one thing, I'm going to tell you the truth. Everybody going to have a soft spot for a man that tells the truth, because a man that tells the truth is very balanced. Everybody don't always want to hear the truth, but a man that is pure in his heart, no, it don't mean you no harm, but the truth is what it is, whether you accept it or not. And that man that has balance, that type of balance, and that man or woman that has that type of balance in their life, and they can tell the truth, and they can use kind words in order to do it. It said, you know what? It says, for the grace of his lips, the king shall be his friend. That means that it's a way that you tell the truth. You don't always have to be harsh telling the truth or nothing like, but when you got gracious lips and the words that you speak are sound and true, even when people get pricked by the truth, they still have a soft spot for you. The eyes of the Lord preserve knowledge, and he overthrow the words of the transgressor. The eyes of the Lord preserve knowledge. That means that knowledge is going to preserve from one generation to the next. Knowledge. He going to preserve knowledge because knowledge belongs to him. All knowledge belongs to him. But he will overthrow the transgressor who will not bend the knee or take the instruction to the words that he had preserved. Verse 13. That word is again, a slothful man. There is a lion without. I shall be slain in the street. This is what the lazy or the slothful man does. He makes every excuse in the world why he can't go to work, why he can't go and feed himself, why he can't go out in the world and be productive and multiply his talent. This is that wicked and lazy servant that hid his talent in the earth because he was too lazy. He was too lazy. He declared, it's a lion without. It's a lion. It's a hungry lion out there. I'll be torn to pieces. I can't go out in the street. That's what the lazy man say. And what he's doing is the lazy man make every excuse in the world. Oh man, when nobody come and get me a ride, man. Oh man, you know it's cold outside, man. Oh man, I ain't got no bus pass no more. The lazy man make every excuse. Man, I called the people. I know I had the interview, but I supposed to have been down there, but I just called them to make sure it was still going down. And you know, man, but I wasn't gonna get that job, man. See, the lazy man or lazy woman, they make every excuse in the world why they can't get up. Oh, I can't get up. I can't get no job. I ain't finished high school. I can't do this. I can't do that. I sit down and wait on this welfare check. Or I sit down and eat these food stamps up. Hey, I ain't end of the month. I ain't got nothing. See, the lazy man or woman, they're going to have every excuse in the world why they can't get up, why they can't do what they supposed to do. The mouth of strange women is a deep pit, and he that is abandoned by the Lord shall fall therein. The mouth of a strange woman is a deep pit. What is a strange woman? A strange woman is a woman that you really don't know. That's a strange woman. And most cases we're talking about a strange woman, you're talking about being hooked up with a woman who is not a stranger to you. Like your wife, for instance. She's not a stranger. You know every inch of her body. You know how she think. You know how she gonna respond. You know all the details about her. You know her past traumatic experience. You know what make her laugh, what make her cry. And she's familiar to you. But a strange woman is a woman that's on the outside of a relationship, because you don't know this woman. You don't know nothing about her. You know she's fine. You know she got a big behind. You know she dressed good. You know she smelled good. You know you seen her at the spot. But guess what? That's all you know about her. You don't know whether she's wicked on the inside. You don't know whether she's after the Lord's heart. You don't know whether you don't know where her allegiance is. He said that strange woman is like a deep pit to a man, and the man that God abandons, that's the one that's going to be to her. Mouth of a strange woman is a deep pit, and he that is abhorred of the Lord shall fall therein. You see, the person that is abhorred of the Lord. Well, see, God just don't abandon people, because God give us grace to repent. But the man that won't repent is the man that's abandoned by the Lord, by his own merits. And that's the man that will fall into the deep pit of the mouth of a strange woman that drips like a honeycomb. That's the man that'll find himself in an adulterous affair, lose his wife and his children and all of that. That deep pit, that's the man. That deep pit that he fall into, that's the man that'll be caught in another woman's bed, in another man's wife's bed by the husband. A deep pit. So we want to be conscious about these things. Foolishness is bound in the heart of the child, but the rod of correction shall drive it far from him. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, because when children come, they have to be taught right and wrong. But the foolishness is naturally bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will drive it out of him. That means that the Bible says if you beat your child with a rod, he will not die, but you shall deliver his soul from hell. He that oppressed the poor to increase riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. See, the person that's out here hustling and coming up and all of that, there's different ways that you can do this particular scripture. There's different ways that you can do this. He that oppressed the poor to increase his riches. Many times you can look in the world that we living in and how the poor man have to be the one to suffer over everything. But you're doing that to increase your riches. They land on the beach and got people working for $5 an hour. That's what this book is talking about right here. He that oppressed the poor to increase his riches, then he gonna be in trouble. And then a person that gives to rich people, he gonna come to want or come to nothing. What's going on? What's on? What's going on, big bro? I don't care. I'm just here doing the video. Yeah.
This nigga I'll see, man. Let me tell you about this dude.
Yep. Yeah, so that's what that is. You're gonna have to give me about 10 minutes.
God bless. I'll be right
All
back.
right. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So it says, "Bow down your ear and hear the words of the wise, and apply thy heart unto my knowledge." That's instruction that the Most High given us. Because if we're gonna get wisdom, that's what we're gonna have to do. We have to bow down our ear to those people that we find in our life that have exemplified wisdom through the life that they're living. We have to bow our ear down. You don't just bow your ear down to know anybody. You know what I'm saying? You bow down your ear to those who are displaying wisdom coming out of their life. And then apply thy heart unto my knowledge. Now make sure that you're applying that, bowing your ear down, because what you're going to get is you're going to get knowledge. And when that knowledge is applied to your life, you understand what I'm saying? Then it becomes a beautiful thing. It becomes a beautiful thing. So that's what that is. So let's see. "For it is pleasant, is a pleasant thing if thou keep them within thee. For they without shall be fitted for thy lips." Now all these instructions that are being given. Yeah, you can buy it.
How much?
12 grand. Yeah, so all of these things, they are good if you keep them down on the inside of you. That's what he's saying. It is a pleasant thing if you keep these parables within you. They shall without be fitted for your lips. So we are to keep these things that we're learning down on the inside of it and be conscious about them while we are living. Because if it's on the inside, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth going to speak. That wisdom and that knowledge going to start rolling off your lips, and it's going to become a blessing to your children and to your wife or to your husband. And then it's going to spill out of the house onto your job and onto all the places that you intermingle in the world. "For it is a pleasant thing if thou wilt keep them within thee. They shall withal be fitted for thy lips, that thy trust may be in the Lord. I have made known to thee this day, even to thee. I have not written unto thee excellent things in counsel and knowledge." These are simplistic things. So it says, "I have not written unto thee excellent things in counsels and knowledge, that I might make thee know the certainty of the words of truth, that thou mightest answer the words of truth to them that sinned unto thee." Now you see why he instructing us in these areas. Yeah, I ain't making these things known to you. I'm making these things known to you that when it's in your heart, it comes off your lips, that you may now instruct them. That you may instruct, that you may make thee to know the certainty of words of truth, and that thou mightest answer the words of truth to them that are sent unto thee. God gonna send people your way, and you're going to be able to answer them using words of truth based on these things that you are hiding down within you, and based on these simplistic principles of wisdom that you are applying to your life. "Rob not the poor because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted at the gate." When we see poor people, we're not to get over on poor people. We're not to rob the poor people. And the reason why is because they're already poor. They don't need one more person coming to take anything away from them. He said, "And do not oppress the afflicted at the gate." Don't put more affliction on somebody who is already afflicted. "For the Lord will plead their cause and spoil the souls of those that spoil them." And when we do these things, God's going to plead their cause, and He's going to spoil us because we are spoiling them. "Make no friendship with the angry man and with the furious man you shall not go. Be very careful who you find yourself running with. Do not make no friendship with angry people, people that have a chip on their shoulder, people who are quick-tempered, people who are hot-headed. And a man that is furious, do not ever go with them, lest you will learn his ways and get a snare to your soul. Do you realize how many brothers have jumped in a car with a furious and angry man only to find themselves in the courtroom facing 20 or 30 years because the furious man then turned around and killed somebody? Went in there and robbed somebody, and you done left with a furious, angry man. He done went and robbed somebody, and when the police get you, it gets you in the car as though you was the one that was with him. But the Messiah, the Most High is saying, this is wisdom. Be very careful who you find yourself hooked up to, and do not run with. When you see people that are angry, and people that are mad, and people that got a chip on it, hey, they'll spoil your spirit, because they want to pour that trash can into your ear. Man, boy, I can't wait. Boy, you know what? I don't want to hear that. I don't want, hey, man, I got to go, man. Hey, I'll call you back in 10 minutes. Hey, I'm doing something. But whatever it is, you get away from them people. And when somebody's mad with you, man, come on, ride with me. Come on, girl, come on. I'm so mad, boy, I know what I'm getting on. And you jump in the car and you hanging with them people. That's not wise. He said it's going to be a snare to your soul. You're going to be the one to end up in trouble. We got brothers in the penitentiary right now doing some odd 20, 30, and 40 years because they jumped in a car with a furious man that ran out there and killed somebody or hurt somebody or ran out there and got into a bad accident. And it was a snare to their soul because they wouldn't operate in principles of wisdom. I don't care if it's your family. I don't care who it is. When people are angry, you let them people alone. And if they are furious, don't you go anywhere with them. Let them go by themselves. Be not one of them that strike hands or of them that are sureties for debts. There we go again. Don't be a person that strike hands. To shake hands is to be suretyship for somebody else. If I go out there and I buy something on my good name, I strike hands. I shake hands in a pledge that I'm going to pay these people what they asking me. He said, but in this case, do not strike hands with anybody as security for somebody else. Do not go out and co-sign for nobody to get no apartment. Do not co-sign for nobody to buy no house, for nobody to buy no car. Don't co-sign for nobody to get a credit card. Don't you strike and shake your hands being security for somebody. If they got bad credit, then they need to learn how to build their own credit. If they ain't got good enough credit to get them a car, they need to save their money up and go buy a cash car. If they don't have a good enough name to go and rent an apartment, they need to go and do something different. You'll be sleeping on mama's couch for a little while longer. But I'm not about to strike no hands in a pledge saying I'm going to be your security if you fail, because that is going directly against the Most High's instruction. And we have plenty of people out there who've been stuck holding the bag, that lost their houses or got to pay all this money back because you went down there and bailed somebody out of jail and you put your house up as collateral, as security for them that they will show up in court. You went down there and took your money down there, you bailed them out of jail, and now you're waiting on them to go to court so you can get your money back, and then they turn around and don't show up in court, and that bail bondsman wants his money, and you're going to pay it. So that's not wise. For if thou hast nothing to pay, why should he take away your bed from up under thee? And if you can't pay the debt of somebody else, why you going to put yourself in a position to where he can come and take the things away from you that you need for your sustenance? And this happens more often than not because people always want somebody to co-sign. I don't care who you are. If you ain't my wife don't need me as a co-sign because we're one unit. We work together. Both of our names got to be good. You know what I'm saying? But my children, they ain't coming to me. I ain't co-signing for nothing. I ain't put nothing on a dotted line. You've been living with me all your life. You done have seen me fight through different situations. You'd have seen me do without. You'd have seen me climb out the hole. You'd have seen me prioritize. You'd have seen me save up for the things that I want. And if you want those things, you're going to do the same thing. Follow the instruction that I'm giving you. But I'm not about to build up my good name and my good favor with people and then take that and let you ruin it because of your irresponsibility. That's the slothful person. That's the person that's saying it's a lion that's hungry out there. It's cold outside. Oh, I ain't got no gas money. Oh, that people didn't do me right. Oh, that wasn't even my fault. Oh, I meant to pay it. I forgot it was due. See, that's them people right there. And don't put yourself in no bad situation. And if you have by chance done this, you go back. The Bible said if you find yourself guilty of this, you go back to your friend and you humble yourself to make sure you're your friend and you make them understand. I know I said I was going to do it, but I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too much at stake. I really can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I can't take no chances. And I know you're a good person. I believe that you're good, but I can't do it because I got to go too far out in that water. And it's going to tear our friendship up. If you say you're going to do something and I put my name on it and then you don't do it. Not only do I got to pay the debt, but now I got to lose a friend in the process. So you go back and tell them that you can't do it because money turns friends into associates. He says, remove not the ancient landmark which thy fathers have set. Seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings, and he shall not stand before mean men. When you see a man that's diligent doing business, he ain't a man or a woman diligent. They not lazy people. They out there on it. They on the phone checking them out. They doing whatever they got to do. They starting their own business. They going to work every day. They working overtime. They got their own business on the side. They doing everything that they see a man diligent in his business. He shall stand before kings, and he shall not stand before mean men. So that was our dissecting of the 23rd chapter, the 22nd chapter of the book of Proverbs. We're going straight up in to the 23rd chapter. When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee, and put a knife to thy throat. If thou be a man given to his appetite. Oh, this is good stuff for living, baby. Oh, it's a parable, all right. It's some hidden wisdom in there. It says, when you sit before a ruler, first thing you need to do, you need to consider diligently what's put before you. You got to consider diligently what's put out there before you. In this particular case, he's using a buffet, a smorgasbord of food, because that's what kings and rulers do when they put something together. He said, but you better think about it, baby. You know, if I told you of all the fruits of these trees and the grains and the seeds and the vegetation of this earth I've given you for food, you better consider. You better consider. He might have some steak laid out, might have some lobster, might have some crab legs, might have some shrimp, some lobster tails, might have some pork chops, might have some black-eyed peas with neck bones, might even have some chitlins on the side. He said, you better consider diligently before you do anything. He said, and put a knife to your throat. If you be a man that's given over to your appetite, you put a knife and slit your own throat before you let something go in your mouth that I told you not to eat. Put a knife to your throat. If you be a man given over to your appetite, the appetite is dealing with all sorts of things. My mentality, where the head think, the body gonna carry out. And the head and the body, the head and the heart and the stomach are three functional hearts. Be a man. Put a knife to your throat if you're a man that's given over to your appetite. If you know you married and you got an appetite to lust after women, he said you put a knife to your throat. If you be a man given over to, being a man given over to your appetite mean that you don't have no physical restraint to restrain yourself from doing things that we don't want to do. And we got all type of appetites. We got an appetite to drink alcohol and get drunk. We got an appetite to smoke dope and do all that. We got an appetite to do all these different things. All these appetites are dealing with the satisfying of our flesh. He said, put a knife to your throat. If you be a man given over to your appetite, put a knife to your throat. We got to be very conscious about our appetite. Be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat. You see, when you start dealing with certain kind of people, you don't desire to have anything that they have, because everything that they're putting out there is deceitful. They didn't get it the right way. They connived for it. They schemed for it. They oppressed the poor for it. They misused their brother or their sister in order to get it. And we are not to be desirous of his dainties, because their work is deceitful. Labor not to be rich. Cease from thy own wisdom. Don't spend all your energy and all your labor chasing after riches in this world. Wilt thou set thy eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven. Will you set your eyes towards something that is not? For riches are here before you get here. Riches will be gone. They'll be here when you gone. 1 minute you can be up, next minute you can be down. When it's time for us to lay down on our sick bed, all of our riches mean nothing, for they certainly take themselves wings and fly away. So the Most High said, don't spend all your energy chasing after riches. The morsel. Oh, it says. Okay, let's go. I got to back up. Okay. Verse 6. Eat thou not the bread of him that has an evil eye, neither desire thou his dainty meats. For as he think in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he unto thee, but his heart is not with thee. And the morsel which thou hast eaten shall thou vomit up, and lose thy sweet words. You see what I'm talking about? He said you're going to lose your sweet words. Your sweet words. He said, don't eat the bread of him that have an evil eye. Neither desire any of his dainty meats. For as he think in his heart, that is how he is. And if he have an evil eye, that means his heart is evil. Eat and drink, he says to thee, but his heart is not with you. And what you eat coming from that individual is going to make you sick and vomit, and you're going to lose your sweet words, because that type of individual is coming to contaminate and corrupt you with poisons. And we're talking about eating. It's not necessarily boiled down to food. Speak not in the ears of a fool, or he would despise the wisdom of thy words. We don't have no words for a fool. You see, we don't have no words for a fool, because a wise man will hear and become even wiser, but a fool is going to reject anything you say. And God said, don't you speak my words in the ears of a fool, lest he despise you for your wisdom. He'll begin to hate you for your wisdom. You know why we got so many people that's talking that nonsense about, man, my family don't love me, man, my family, they done crocked me out, now they did all this, my family did that, my family did that, they because I'm in Hebrew, Nah, they ain't that. It's because you've been speaking in the ears of people that can't comprehend what you're saying. Or you speaking in the ears of people that don't want what you offering. And when they throw dirt in your face, you think it's something wrong with them, but really it's something wrong with us for not operating according to these principles of wisdom. God saying, speak not in the ears of a fool, or he'll despise the wisdom of thy words. Verse 13, withhold not correction from a child, for if thou beatest him with a rod, he shall not die. This is a lesson that many of these modern day new jack parents need to learn. Oh, I just want my kids to have it better than I had it. Better than, well, look out there in the world that you living in. Is it better than you had it when you was a kid? He said, don't withhold correction from no child. For if you beat them with a rod, they won't die. But they will learn. Thou shalt beat him with the rod, and thou shalt deliver his soul from hell. So in actuality, our grandmothers and them was operating in a principle of wisdom. when they be giving a child a spanking and telling him, I'm going to beat the hell out of you. That's what they was doing. The rod of correction was driving hell far from the child. And can you believe Facebook just threatened to destroy my page again because I said the word whooping? My son, if thy heart be wise, my heart shall rejoice, even mine. If our heart is wise, then God gonna be rejoicing. So that's gonna be, we're gonna end that video right there. We end that video in the 23rd chapter of the book of Proverbs, the 15th verse. We're gonna continue to hammer away at our series on wisdom. Right now, we kind of doubling up a little bit. We got more pages than we got more days left in this month, but we do aim to get through this book of Proverbs. So peace and blessings be upon all the brothers and sisters. Shouts out to all of the brothers and sisters that saw fit to come alongside of me and assist me while we with the computer and stuff, while we getting ready to start up the Truth Music radio show. Going to be on Fridays from 6 o'clock to 8 p.m. beginning on April the 22nd. That platform is worldwide. We're going to be able to get on there. We're going to be able to comment. We're going to be able to chop. We're going to be able to chat. And any of the brothers and sisters that are on this live video that didn't hear the video that we put out there, download the Truth Music app. You can get it on Google Play, or you can get it on what's that other one? Or the App Store. Truth Music on Google Play or the App Store. And so we had asked some of the brothers and sisters early on, those that could and will, if they had it to spare, if they could possibly maybe help me out with an extra little $5 or $3 or $10 or something like that. They got me set up on the platform, be ready to go April the 27th, but I have to get my own computer system. I need a new computer, which one computer I have, but I can't use it for that. And right now, I need a little help with that. So any brothers and sisters like to come alongside, that'll be your hand of provision showing up, and that's your portion of help. Every time that radio show come on, you get a good feeling. You get to thank the Most High that He used your hand to help your brother get that done. And those of y'all that don't know, you can $ Dimitri Milligan, or you can PayPal.me Dimitri78. And peace and blessings be on all of you.